thought I'd talk a little bit today about state of mind um, for Westerners coming to live in Southeast Asia. I understand people who want to get up in the morning and enjoy their lives, enjoy doing what they're doing. That to me is very key. That's very important. And that should be the case whether you are retired or whether you are working. So, you've thought about the Philippines for a long time. You've probably even been here for a couple of holidays, or you've been here through a work experience at some stage, or you've been here through the military or some other reason. But you now are making that decision to retire here in the Philippines. You may be married to a Filipino, in which case it's quite straightforward, or you may not be. You're coming single, or you're coming as a couple, as a Western couple from your land. All of these different dynamics can work here in the Philippines. There are definitely areas of expat community that kind of give each other support in educating them with things to do and things you should do and things you shouldn't do, and how to get this visa done and how to sort out that driving license and all these kind of things, how to open a bank account, and you can also get that knowledge and information these days very easily online, and it's very straightforward, really. There's always somebody around to help you as well. So I don't think it's necessary to be linked up with expat communities to get yourself into a settled scenario. I deliberately haven't done that. I've deliberately steered away from that type of in a relationship, and I've gone in with a view to do it through just my connection with the Filipino community in the region I live in, and sort everything out I need to sort out. Of course, I'm married to a Filipino. Richie and I have been married for a long time. We also have a son, 15 years old, who's also with us. Now, in our case, we've been here on holiday many times over the last 18 years. But we decided, a couple of years ago, or more than that now, about 3 or 4 years ago, that we were going to come here, and I was going to semi-retire here and draw my pension, and also do some online work, which I was already doing in the UK. Richie, my wife, she had a job in the UK, but she obviously gave up that job to come and be here. And Mikey, obviously at 15 years old, is going to high school here. We all had different challenges. As it so happened, I think probably I found the adjustment the easiest. Despite frustrations. I haven't missed the UK at all, really. Not at all. I miss friends and family I've still got in the UK, of course. But I don't miss the UK. I can honestly say that. Mikey, our son, he has missed the UK. He's missed his friends in the UK. He's missed his school in the UK. And that took some adjustment to coming into a new culture, new environment, new school, and adjust to this way. It took him a good 8 to 12 months to really adjust. Now he's into it in a more productive way, and gets, it's a typical teenager who likes to do his own thing. But he's now speaking Tagalog, making made friends with lots of people his own age, and is fine. You know, he also has the opportunity to go back to the UK in the future for his education. I'm talking about university education, if he feels that's where he wants to go in the future, or he can do it here for that matter. He, being, let's call him half Filipino, half British, he has, at the moment, he currently has a British passport, but he has the opportunity to be a dual citizen, so he can carry a British passport and a Philippines passport. I have a British passport. Richie has a Philippines passport, of course. Richie is a permanent resident of the UK. She's got indefinite leave to remain in the UK, so she is okay as far as that goes. But it's not our intention to go back to the UK. I'll never say never, but it's not our intention to go back to the UK. What I will say is you shouldn't, and this is the first thing I see lots of expats do when they come here, they try and bring a lot of the Western world with them. You know, not just in possessions, but in methodology, in thinking, in process, and getting things done quickly, and all this kind of stuff as well. You can't do that. You can't do that in the Philippines. You can't come here and impose Western culture in a country like the Philippines, in any country for that matter. You know, you have to accept everything that happens in this country and accordingly. The pace of life here is much slower, and it's can be frustrating if you don't accept it. As just like it's frustrating or annoying when you're expected to work at a high speed, a high pace. It's the real rat race of living in a big modern city, of course. But the point is, it's also very hard to slow down. Yeah, so learning to slow down is quite difficult to achieve when you've been working at a fairly high pace in the Western world, doing whatever you've been doing. So, you know, slowing down to a way of life here is totally different to doing things in a retired way in the UK, for example, because the world around you is still going at a different pace. People are still going to demand things on the day and at that time and all this sort of stuff. Here, it doesn't happen that way. You don't find things as there's a rush, really. You know, when you expect things to get done and people are going to come and do them, always add a few more extra days to the time frame, usually. And I say that in a nice way because yes, it was very frustrating at first, but I then got to realize how the culture in society works here, and you especially in the province where I live, you know, in the country towns, you're not going to have things at your fingertips as easily as you have in UK, in Sheffield, for example. So yeah, slowing down, and some people, in fact many people, get frustrated with that. They can't deal with that. They can't do it. They want it now. You know, they'll argue they're paying for it. They want it now. They're paying for the service. They want it now. And they get frustrated with it. Don't do that. Don't become frustrated. Don't become irritated by the slow pace of life if you live in the... Get through that period of adjusting, and then I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it, and you're going to say, why didn't we do this in the UK years ago? Promise you. It's a true way of living, because what you do by slowing it down and slowing yourself down in this process, I don't mean slow yourself down where you don't, still do your exercise, still do the things that are good for you, still eat good quality food, good exercise, good sleep. All these things are key. But I'm saying that the process of having to do things all today, tomorrow, don't work to schedules, because the schedule goes out the window after day one here. Work to go with the flow. I mean, we used to say that in Africa, actually, go with the flow. But understand it, and you'll enjoy it. Okay? Take some deep breaths when it's not going fast enough for you, when you do want it to go. But get through it, and I promise you, in a few months, you will start to enjoy life, because you start to appreciate things around you. You start to smell the vegetation. You start to hear the bird song. You hear the insects. You feel the change in temperature on your skin as the sun comes up and as the sun goes down. You start to enjoy it. You start to listen to what people are saying. You observe more. So you gain a lot through slowing down. I don't want this to sound like an education video or something like that. I'm just telling it as I've experienced it myself. I've been here 15 months. 15 months and living here. I mean, I've been here many times before that, but I mean, I've lived here for 15 months, and every month for me has got better. Every month has been despite things going up and down on every month, we've had here, living on where we live in the compound, we've had tragedy, we've had joyous occasions, we've now had 2 Christmases here. And it's all been good. It's all been good. Things have gone slower than we anticipated, yes. But do I miss the UK? No, I actually don't. Definitely, I would say coming to the Philippines, coming to any country, the other side of the world, to live, not to go on holiday, to live, takes courage. Takes courage and takes a lot of planning. We're taking on the challenges. We're taking on the challenges, and we're showing courage in the decisions we're making constantly, all the time, which is fun, which is part of how we wanted to live our life here in the Philippines. Talk again. Take care. Bye-bye.